Quote Retreat by Sandor. One quote, one reflection, one thought that could bring a moment of light and energy to your day. Join me as we take a look at today's quote. The quote is by Booker T. Washington. Born 1856, died 1915. It reads, "Associate yourself with people of good quality, for it is better to be alone than in bad company." Let's take a moment together to explore the messages within this quote. Here is something that might surprise you. One of the most revolutionary quotes about personal growth came from a man born into slavery in 1856, who went on to build one of America's most prestigious black educational institutions, with nothing but an empty building and an unwavering vision.
That's fascinating. You're talking about Booker T. Washington's famous words about choosing your associations carefully, right? The context really transforms the meaning.
Exactly. His quote, "Associate yourself with people of good quality, for it is better to be alone than in bad company," wasn't just wisdom, it was a survival strategy in the post-Civil War South. When you think about it, he was advocating for something pretty radical for his time.
Well, what strikes me is how he applied this philosophy at Tuskegee Institute. He wasn't just talking about personal relationships. He was building an entire ecosystem of excellence.
You know what's fascinating? When he started Tuskegee in 1881, he literally had nothing but an abandoned church building. No equipment, barely any furniture, but within a few years, he transformed into a powerhouse of African American education through careful selection of faculty and students.
So this wasn't just about avoiding negative influences. It was about actively creating spaces for growth and progress?
Exactly. And here's what's really interesting. By 1915, the year he died, Tuskegee had grown from 30 students to over 1,500, with a faculty of nearly 200. All because he understood that quality associations create this multiplier effect.
That kind of institutional building in the face of intense racial prejudice must have required extraordinary courage. He was essentially saying that African Americans had the right to be selective about their associations.
Right? And this was during a time when just claiming that right was revolutionary. But you know what really gets me? He maintained this philosophy despite facing criticism from both white supremacists and fellow civil rights leaders who thought he was too accommodating.
The way he navigated those complex waters while staying true to his principles is remarkable. Like, he understood that meaningful progress required building bridges without compromising standards.
And that's what makes this quote so relevant today. In our age of social media and endless networking opportunities, we're constantly pressured to expand our connections. But Washington's wisdom suggests quality matters more than quantity.
You know, I wonder how he would view today's digital relationships and professional networking culture.
Well, I think he'd probably emphasize being even more intentional about our associations now. Like, when you have the potential to connect with thousands of people instantly, choosing wisely becomes even more crucial.
That's such an interesting modern application. His philosophy wasn't about isolation. It was about creating purposeful connections that serve growth and progress.
Exactly. And here's something really powerful. By 1900, Tuskegee had become the largest center of African American education in the country. All because Washington understood that transformative change happens through carefully cultivated relationships.
So in essence, he was providing a framework for both personal development and social progress through this seemingly simple idea about choosing associations wisely.
And you know what's wild? This approach helped him secure funding from major philanthropists like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller. He proved that being selective about relationships could create tangible results.
That legacy really shows how this philosophy can work on multiple levels: personal, institutional, and societal.
Looking at his impact, it's clear this wasn't just philosophical. It was a practical strategy for creating meaningful change. The courage to be selective, even when facing pressure to compromise, can transform not just individual lives, but entire communities.
Well, that really brings it full circle. From an empty building to a lasting legacy of excellence, all built on the foundation of choosing quality associations.
And maybe that's the most powerful lesson for us today. That in a world pushing us toward endless connections, sometimes the bravest choice is to be selective and stay true to our standards, just like Washington did over a century ago. With that, we conclude this exciting episode. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Your support truly helps this channel grow. See you again tomorrow. Yours, Sandor.